So, have you ever gone to a therapist or a coach or considered going to a therapist or coach, but when you were interacting with them, there was this level of infallibility where they weren't willing to be vulnerable with you because that was the dynamic in the relationship? They were your authority in that situation, even when they were teaching you to be your own authority. Did you notice how this subconsciously played into your parent wound? Did you notice how having this dynamic with that therapist or coach created this feeling that you couldn't bring up certain things? Or it became part of the dynamic that this was something where there was projection between you about it, and this made it very difficult to talk through things? I have. In fact, I would say that this is a pretty predominant experience I've been playing with, is how do I have a sense of expertise and authority within my group? Though, is it even authority that I want in my group? Like, that's what I've really been playing with. Like, how approachable can I be if I'm in an energetic position of it's my way or the highway? That doesn't feel pretty good. What would feel way better is how I've generally approached it, but it's part of the reason why I feel so scattered when I'm trying to explain my results to people, because people are like, because supposedly we have to have like a concrete result to give to people, and I'm like, well, every person who comes to me with a different problem that is rooted in a pattern of early imprinting, that they created a meaning for something out of something that they experienced, that created a pattern of how they habitually handled something that was standing in their way of being who they really wanted to be and handling a certain thing the way they really wanted to handle it, or feeling a certain way they wanted to feel, or being able to do a certain thing that they wanted to do. And so the problem that I'm brought with and the solution at the end, while the pathway is similar, they are very different things. You know, I can take you from smoking to not smoking. It can take you from being overweight and wondering why you are eating like this to being able to manage your eating habits in a way that feels good to you. I can take you from anxiety and depression and overworked and undernourished and completely feeling like you're stranded and alone in the world, to feeling like you have your secure network of people and you're certain about those connections and you're certain about your value within those connections and you're certain about your value in yourself no matter what connections you have. I can take you from being in a place where you don't know what you want in life to being absolutely certain and having a clear way of moving towards that. And a feeling, more importantly, that it is absolutely possible and likely that it is going to unfold like that. That is what I provide for people in a nutshell. And I could list on a whole other... I could continue on and on probably for days about all the things that I could help shift by reframing the meaning and by identifying the times and experiences that imprinted this meaning into your subconscious. But what makes what I do so valuable and so incredible is the fact that it can be applied to all of these different circumstances, that it is in a way a one size fits all that can be tweaked in certain ways to be accommodating for what you are looking for and what you need, and how you need it to be applied in that moment, and how you need me to show up and guide you, and what tools and tricks from my vast array of tools and tricks I'm going to pull from that fit well and resonate with you and where you're going. That's what I'm good at. I am good at the personalized. I am good at the bespoke. I am good at giving you exactly what you need that you may not even know yet how to articulate. That's my specialty. And doing that comes with an incredible level of, how shall I put it? Flexibility That's inadequate. It's this feeling of, I have to tune into you. We have to be there and have the resonance and the ability and that soul connection to be able to transpersonally mutate what is happening within you to what you really want to be your foundation, instead of the absorbed and unintentionally filed in your subconscious tape that you're running from now. That's what I'm good at. And that requires me to put myself aside and to step into your divinity with you, to observe your divinity, your fractalization of who you really are, that is so individual and so unique, and honing in on the words, phrases, and ways of interacting with yourself, your energy, and other people's energy in order to create these shifts. That's why I studied human design. That's why I studied neurolinguistic programming. That's why I'm certified as a rapid transformational therapist. That's why I began from massage therapy to learn how to shift the biochemical soup in your body with acupressure and myofascial release, and to change those physical manifestations of trauma as a solidifying experience in the identity shifting from who you have been. I pull on all this and so much more. I love gene keys. I love astrology. I use these as a language to be able to identify a spectrum of archetypal themes and traits in a way that sits outside of the charged, difficult to swallow at times way of approaching describing things as we do in our social sector, in our social life, in our social media. When we're talking clinical, we often are speaking about ourselves in ways that feel like they beat us up just for existing, just for being who we are. And that's part of the reason why I use these other languages. And that's what I call these systems very specifically, is languages. They're symbolic languages that we can pull on to work with the subconscious. I love Jungian psychology. I love shadow work. I would love to call this like your last shadow work experience that you really need to do, because I want to give you these tips and tools to be able to pull on in your everyday life. And I want to show up with you through working with you, either in individual or package sessions, or as a coach with you in a defined period of time as we are unrolling, unfurling, and creating what you really want your life to be. I will hold your feet to the fire as I stand there with you. I can promise you that. And we will breathe through it, and more than breathe through it. We will transcend that feeling of ego death, and we will give it the appreciation and the grief and the rightness that it is meant to have, that it needs to have, that it is honoring to have. That's what I want to share with you. So get a hold of me and get on a breakthrough call with me. We can do a radiance rejuvenation session during that time to get you honed in on what you really want to be working on next, and give you that jump start, give you that oomph, give you that wow, to be able to say that you really know how you're getting there from here. Talk to you soon.